Hi, welcome to episode 3. I decided that the gameplay was a bit too boring. The games are a bit too steamrolly. A good amount are bot games, and the games that are not bot games are new players. So it's not it's not really valuable gameplay to watch. I mean, I don't know. Like, you did see the first couple episodes, so you can see like the low level gameplay if that's something that interests you. So I just figured it'd be better to just do a voiceover and go over some interesting things that I've been seeing in the community, especially like the Discord and the world chat. So I don't know if I showed this game, but the account is like a 98% win rate. It's currently plat 4, plat 5, I can't remember. Um, and I think I'm gonna start recording the gameplay to do like the episodes like I was before. Once the lobbies get competitive, it's probably like Crystal 5. So I'll just like do videos like this where gameplay's in the background and I'll do some commentary. So the thing I want to talk about, I just saw in the Discord earlier, somebody was asking in the general chat, well, how do you play versus two centers? And I didn't think this was something that people were curious about or didn't know the answer to. So I basically just wanted to go over it briefly. Now again, I'm not an expert on basketball nor Streetball Allstar, but I'm pretty good, and I think it's a lot of it is just like pattern recognition as well as just like some common sense. So you have to think about what the centers in the game are good at. So centers are really good at blocking. So if they're in proximity, they're great at blocking shots. They're really good at grabbing rebounds. Some of them are good at dunking or close shots. So that's basically it. They need to be in close proximity to whatever it is that they're trying to do, whether it's a ball they're trying to grab, somebody they're trying to block, or a shot they're going to take or dunk. It's all about proximity. And the caveat to being a center, because something has to be bad about them for them to be balanced, is that a lot of times they're quite slow. So the mobility is low. So when you think about a team that has two centers, we'll assume the third is a point guard, right? That would make the most sense, usually. Somebody that's really fast can dish the ball around. You would need a point guard being the third. So if you're playing a composition that's a point guard and two centers, you have to think what the weakness of that composition would be. So let's just assume that you're playing a regular comp. It's point guard, shooting guard, center. Well, when you're on offense, yes, of course, if there are two centers that are standing at the perimeter to block your shots, it's going to be impossible to throw something up. But you have to remember that your team's a lot faster, right? You have everybody on your team, or not everybody, but the point guard and the shooting guard are going to be a lot faster than the two centers. So you need to just utilize their speed and make a lot of space on the court. So there are a lot of ways you can do that. You can just be straight up running around, passing the ball a lot. Could be setting screens, and for a center to recover from a screen and make it to where the ball is moving, it takes a long time because they're so slow. So basically, when you're playing versus a comp that's two centers, you're almost always going to be looking to shoot threes. So it's going to be a game where you're putting up mostly 3-point shots. Shooting twos or dunks are going to be heavily contested and quite difficult to do. So it's probably going to be mostly just shooting threes, and that's great because what their comp is going to be good at doing is getting 2 points. Because if you think about like, if you're going to get a three almost every possession, and they're going to just trade for a two every possession, you're just going to win. It's you'll just win, right? Because 3/2, and you'll just win from that. So they kind of need to be looking for threes as well. So what does that mean? It means that the centers would have to be both playing screens for the point guard or whoever the third is to be getting threes off. That's easy because all you have to do is defend the three. You don't have to worry about them getting a two because that's fine. If they want to trade 2 for 3 every possession, sorry if you hear the dog. If they want to trade 2 for 3 every possession, they're just going to lose the game. So you really would just be playing the perimeter. You're making sure they can't get any 3 points, and giving them a free two is totally fine. It's going to be quite consistent as long as you play slow. That's the main thing too, because every character in the game has unique abilities. So some of the centers will have things like a what's it called, like a sprinting block or like a jumping something. It's a block where basically they can like get like a small boost and jump in your face and block. So a shot that you think would be safe is actually not because they have like a gap close. So obviously you have to play around things like that, and it's super easy. Again, everything is punished. So if you pump fake them and they go for that kind of block, well, now they're out of commission. It's going to take them a long time to recover and move where the ball is going to be next. So you just have to play the possession slow, kind of read how they're playing it, and the longer the game goes on, the better it is for you. It's a lot easier for your team to score threes than it is for theirs. As long as you play the screens decently, and especially at lower levels, the screens are not going to be played very well. Like, they're not going to be screening properly. The person with the ball is not going to be using the screens perfectly. You know, it's a lot easier for your team to win than theirs. So I think the main thing is just patience. And also, like, obviously, if you're asking the question in the world chat, you know, you're very likely queuing up by yourself. So you can't guarantee that your teammates are going to know how to play this as well. But that you just have to communicate to them, play threes, kind of hope that they can, or, you know, type in, like, play pick and roll, whatever you want to do to communicate that you guys just want to be playing the perimeters and not trying to go into the paint. So that's what I would say about that. And it's like the same concept reverse if, say, like his team is like no centers. Well, now the idea would be, okay, well, we can just chuck the ball anytime basically, because we have somebody who's going to get like guaranteed rebounds every possession. So that's great, because when you have the ball now, you can be a lot more haphazard with your possession. Like, you almost always will be getting a rebound from that since they have nobody contest your big. So it's like, you just have to remember what every role is good at doing, what they're bad at doing. And it's super easy to play the game when you think about it that way. The other thing I was going to talk about, wait, I didn't write any of this down, I'm just going off the top of my head. Talk about that. Oh, so maybe you have noticed or you haven't noticed, but this new account I started, I'm just using it as my account for bigs. The reason I'm doing that is because, at least in my opinion, it makes the most sense in this game to have separate accounts or separate roles, unless you want to just commit to having one account for everything. I think it's either one account for everything or one account for each role, just because when you're upgrading gear, you have to choose the affixes that you're going to have attached to it, as well as the stats. It just becomes very cost inefficient to be getting a bunch of gear for a bunch of different positions on one account. Even though the game makes like getting resources quite easy, in my opinion, it's still just a lot cheaper to, okay, like I'm just gonna get this one set that's perfect for my big, and whoever I feel like playing, I'm just gonna use it on them. Now, as you get to higher ranks and there's a pick and ban phase, that becomes a bit like less of a convincing argument, because, well, at that rank, you know, whoever you have geared can be banned out or picked, and now you can't switch the gear in character select, so you're going to need multiple sets of gear anyway. But I still think overall I would prefer to have an account for each role, just because I think it still would cost a bit more to do it all in one. So I would say if you're getting into the game and you want to experiment, I'd say before spending any of your resources, just kind of play all of the roles, especially in the street mode. Go into street mode, play all the roles, see which one you like the best. Or I would not go off of what you're best at, because that can change quite quickly. You know, I thought I really liked shooting guard, and I played point guard, and I really liked that. Now I'm playing center, and I actually really like center. So, you know, you don't really know, and you can't judge based off what you're good at, because I sucked at all three when I started them. So I would definitely just, before spending any of your resources, try all the positions, look at the champs, figure out who you, or not champs, the characters so you want to play. I would just do it that way. To wrap this up, the next video I have is actually a replay. It was a game in Plat that I thought was going to be just a boring whatever game. Ended up being quite close, so I didn't record the live gameplay. I went to the replay and I recorded that, and then I showed you some other things in the client itself. So I'm going to do that for the next video, episode 4. And the last thing, I mean, the production quality on these videos is quite low, but it's mostly because I'm not sure, you know, how much traction these videos will gain, if people even care about this kind of content, if I'm a boring creator, you know, these things I don't know, because I've not made videos prior to this. So I'm going to see if people seem to like the videos, or if somebody requests a certain kind of video. I'm happy to, you know, raise the production quality and to do some stuff with like graphs showing up and, like, you know, interactive videos rather than just gameplay and my voice. So just letting you know that is definitely a possibility. It just kind of depends on how this goes, because I don't know how to edit, so I'd have to learn how to edit or pay somebody to edit. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching the video.